going to say a word, and I want your first impression when I say this word, okay? Muslim.
Diversity.
Muslim.
Unappreciated and hard done by.
People who come from the Middle East.
Muslim.
Human beings, nothing different. Nothing at all, just another person in the world.
Women that are being taken advantage of.
Friend.
People.
I think of, well, the religion Islam. I know it's tends to be a violent religion.
Muslim.
Hooded.
Muslim.
Terrorists.
You know, we have to maybe take some time to understand their culture a little bit better, and maybe we can talk better and be more peaceful with each other.
My name is Fatima Uddin. I grew up in Barrie, Ontario. My father arrived in Canada in 1971 from Karachi, Pakistan. He worked at General Tire as a quality control analyst while raising 5 kids with Canadian values and at the same time retaining his own religion and culture. This is my old public school. Good times. Growing up, I wasn't even that conscious that I was Muslim. To me, I was just like everyone else until I started school and we had to say the Lord's Prayer, and there was no mention of Allah. But the words of the Lord's Prayer were similar to my beliefs, so I had no problems with saying it, but would substitute the word Allah for Lord, under my breath, of course. And that's my old high school. It hasn't changed much. I do feel that I'm being judged because I am Muslim. Life isn't easy for Muslims today, but I'm optimistic that people will view Muslims with their hearts and be compassionate and stop the hate.
My name is Arsalan Rafiq, and they call me Alex just to make it easy for them and all that, because it's very hard to pronounce it and all that. Originally, I'm from Afghanistan, and I came to Canada. I call Canada home. I call Canada home since 2001, May. It was cultural shock, it was language shock and everything, like, because we have a different language than the English. But now, thanks God, I'm in this position that I can speak very well, I can write very well, and I can communicate with people very well. I'm very happy to be in this land of free. In 2011, my brother got his license for the mechanic, so I put the idea for him to let's start on our own business and all that. And since 2011, and now we are in 2016, thanks God, our business is going good, and I hope it's for the best for the future. My wife's not here. I got married in April 2014. And then by the time I came back to Canada, because I have to do the paperwork, I was here in June. And then I started my paperwork in September, October. But now I'm still waiting for the immigration to give me a response. It's a little bit sad, but it will come soon. I hope so.
You miss her though?
Oh, big time. That's my wife.
My name is Mehreen Shahid, and I'm a full-time reporter with the Aurelia Packet Times. I should tell you, I have left a message with Doug Downey to talk to him tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm from Pakistan originally, a city called Lahore, which is in the province of Punjab, and I moved to Canada in 2011. My family actually didn't move to Canada. I moved to Canada basically because I wanted a different approach to life, and I wanted a little more. My personal approach to life is a little more progressive than what I was finding in Pakistan. So I wanted to move to another country that would give me the opportunity to explore the full potential that I have. Back when I was in Pakistan, I think it would be about 12 or 15 years from now, I was very much right-winged religious. I was covering my head. I was very strict about who I was talking to, who I was meeting, and even being in front of the camera for photographs and everything. Over time, I noticed with the way things evolved in the country and outside the country, with the way religion was being used in certain ways, I felt that my appearance had nothing to do with how I practiced my religion, and that's how I slowly got out of that right wing and tried to find the balance in the center, so I'm not really on the other extreme either. I'm just sort of trying to balance myself. So I try to practice as much as I can. Even now, I don't drink alcohol, I don't eat any non-halal meat, but I don't do the rituals that I used to do. But that does not mean that I still don't believe in those basic tenets. It's not the way I dress, it's the way I behave that makes me a good Muslim. I am a Muslim. I still believe in everything that the religion has taught.
Can I go first? Sure, I'll go second.
My name is Atif Butt. I was born in Pakistan and moved to Canada at the age of 9 with my family when they immigrated here. Been a Hamilton boy pretty much most of my life. Grew up there, went to school there, did university there. Now live here in Barrie with my family, my wife and 3 kids.
It's okay.
We are just a typical Canadian family. I work, my kids are in different activities. They're in swimming, they're in karate. In the summertime we have them in soccer. We pay our taxes. We do everything that anybody else would do in a typical Canadian household. My wife is the leader of the family. She is the one that wears the pants around the house. So at the end of the day, we'll do what she tells us to do. Sure, we're Muslim, but I don't think we're any different than our neighbors living on the street.
How was school today, you guys?
It was good.
What'd you do?
Let's see, drama class.
After my divorce, when I was ready to start seeing people again, I met a Muslim man. And after a few weeks, I found out he was Muslim. I didn't know immediately. And I could either say no thank you at that time and move on, I can't deal with it, or I could just investigate it to even learn and understand a little bit more about him. So that's what I chose to do. I just started Googling things and looking at things online, and in the course of that, I found out that most of what was believed in the Islamic faith, what Muslims believed, was very similar to how I was raised in Catholic. Always felt the need to practice something, to be more spiritual. I was always spiritual, but nothing stuck, nothing felt right, nothing spoke to me, nothing touched my heart until Islam. It was like a key had been fit into my heart and turned, and my heart was opened and unlocked.
It's Maghrib time, Osman, as well, so we have to pray in a little while, so be prepared for that. Islam is misunderstood because the media does propagate the bad things about what we've seen with the terrorists and all the political things that are happening around the world. So it is misunderstood. Our holy book, the Qur'an, if you were to read passages from the Qur'an, Islam really is a religion, and I know people say it all the time, of peace. It is a religion of peace, but if you look at us, we're no other different than no one else. We are obedient to God. We love charity. The act of kindness is so big in our religion. And it's just unfortunate that we are misunderstood.
Islam is not like, I don't call it a religion nowadays, I just call it the way of life. Because I'm happy with that way of life. I have a prayer mat upstairs that when I'm busy and all that, but back home in the Islamic countries, Friday is off day for the people. As you can see, this is the mat, as you can see, where you can go to our mosque. They have the same color. So that was the leftover. And usually we can pray on any mats as long as it's clean. So we go towards the Mecca. It's about 54-degree northeast. And then you have to stand and make sure your clothes are clean and all that, and no shoes on the carpet and everything. That's my daily prayer. And I have a lot of friends that they're Muslim too, that taxi drivers and all that. So they come and they use this, I'll call it facility or something. That's how we pray our 5 daily prayer, which is to talk to the God straight and all that, to ask for forgiveness.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Yes, we have to pray 5 times a day and at specific times, but it really, our life actually revolves around it. So when we plan anything, we say, okay, our prayer, we have to make sure we're praying at 5, so let's get home, we'll pray 5 minutes and then carry on with our life. So it doesn't, I don't know if it's a mindset or what it is, but it really does not, you know, it's not an obstacle in our life at all.
The ritual of the prayer, the 5 times prayer, or the fasting has actually taught me what is more important. So I have to focus on what I'm being asked to do during the day and put my own personal desires, so to speak, in the background, and focus on being on time for an appointment, focus on listening to someone with respect, and making sure that I deliver my product, my work is top priority as compared to anything else, which could probably be holding me back, because if I were breaking my routine every 2 or 3 hours to come and say my prayer, that would impede my work, and I don't want that. I don't want that done.
Fatima, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
How are you? I met Karen about, I think, 2 years ago. When she first converted to Islam. I reached out to her and we got together at the mosque, and it was wonderful, and she's a beautiful person. I think that's my responsibility, is to be there, help her, guide her. Just don't let her be, now that she's a Muslim, okay, she can sort of learn it on her own. No, we're here to help her, support her, and tell her that if she needs something, we're here for her.
You like act it out and you just kind of like, freeze frame.
So far, I've been blessed by positive reactions. I have 2 children, a girl and a boy. My daughter's 17 and my son's 15. I told them probably about 4 months after I reverted. I needed a few months to just let it sit with me, to feel comfortable inside me, to just kind of be okay with it. The vegan will be leaving.
Yeah. It wasn't expected, but I mean, whatever makes her happy. She just seems to be at peace with herself, I guess, and like she has something to look forward to.
I've been a military physician now for about 3 years. Previously, I was a healthcare administrator with the military. But for the last 3 years after I did my medical school and residency, I work on base as a military physician. I joined the military as a healthcare administrator, and so I was a non-clinician initially. It wasn't until actually I deployed with the Disaster Assistance Response Team to Pakistan, which is my birth country, in 2005. I deployed as a medical platoon second in command. There was a major disaster, a major earthquake in Pakistan that happened. At that time, 80,000 people died, several 100,000 people that were displaced.
Is there a turn in the canyon at all, or does the helicopter pilot fly straight up?
I was a medical administrator. I also was a translator there. And that really, working with our physicians on this deployment, as well as the allied health that were there, the physician assistants, the nurses, the medical technicians, really motivated me to pursue this further. I was always somebody who was always interested in going back to school anyways, and medicine felt like it would be the perfect fit. So luckily it worked out, and I was able to pursue that dream and achieve my goals.
Well, the Sisters of Noor-Ul-Islam are here at the Bayside Mission, serving the clients that are here for dinner. And it's something that we do the last Monday of every month, and it gives us great satisfaction being part of our community and helping out.
I like seeing, people get food, a meal to eat when the day is reached who cannot afford it. And I think it's just a wonderful thing, helping out everybody. I feel very good inside. Inside, I feel like I did something very good.
I'm a mom, I can multitask. So it definitely makes us feel great. It really is something that the time that we're here, we cherish this time. We love to give back to our community.
After 9/11, I was working here and there. I remember I used to work in the factory. So this one guy was telling me, he kind of put a racist comment against me. He's like, if you're blowing this factory, let me know so I won't be there on that day. But I told him, as you can see, like, you have to be like, turn the other cheek. I was back to smiling to him. I'm like, and then I told him, I'm like, you don't have to blame the whole, just a few people did something wrong. You don't have to blame the whole religion or the whole humanity and all that.
In my day-to-day life, I don't wear hijab. When I come to the mosque or if I go to an Islamic event, I will wear it. A good part of it is probably fear, to be honest with you. I am probably afraid of that negativity and that hatred that can be spewed from the ignorant, the people that don't want to even hear about it. I have friends that wear hijab, and yes, in Barrie, they've encountered that kind of racism by, you know, even just going out for a walk along the lakeshore, negative remarks thrown in their direction.
It is definitely a visible identification, and I'm proud. I'm very proud that I am Muslim. It makes me happy. This is something I want to do, not forced by my father, my brother, my husband, my children. I feel I look beautiful in it. It makes me feel like no one else is judging me because of my beautiful hair or my anything else. This is me. So when I talk to you or you talk to me, we're talking eye to eye. Nothing else is in the way. And I love wearing it. I think it's a great fashion piece, and I love styling it different ways. And I'm very proud to be Muslim and wearing a hijab.
I haven't found the courage yet to do it. I hope one day I can. I pray God gives me the strength to do it, but again, it's probably a big part of fear.
When I'm at the mosque, I feel very peaceful because I can see people from everywhere. I can see people from every color. Like Islam is not meaning like just to put it in the Middle East people or to put it in like anywhere else. It's like everywhere. You can you've been to the mosque before, but you can see people from everywhere, from Africa, from Nigeria, from even the Canadian, US, from like all the way from Afghanistan, and then turn around all the way Bangladesh and all that. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You come to the mosque and you can see, like, when we are praying, when we are standing praying and all that, we are all standing all in one line. It's not like, oh, you're a little bit darker skinned, so you have to sit in the back, or you're this. Anybody's welcome in the mosque.
If it's a man and a woman that are forming the congregation, then yes, we have an imam who is a man, and women do pray behind. The reason being is, it's simple. Men, as we know, usually cannot help themselves but to be a little bit interested in women, and instead of focusing on Allah and praying, it's just human nature to wander. You know, our eyes do wander, and so to make it a little bit easier for men, the men sort of stay in front and the women stay behind. And if you look, we do have movements. So our bodies are moving up and down, and some women are shy in regards to showing that. So we do tend to pray behind the men.
I would like to introduce Al-Asfar family, Syrian family. They came from Lebanon 2 months and a half ago. We tried to help and communicate with the people here in Barrie. The mosque helped also a family in Alliston, a family coming to Angus, and a couple of years ago we helped Iraqi family. From the mosque, they don't like to announce what they do.
يتعلم السواقة أحمد مشان يجيب سيارة.
Yes.
طالع شهادة السواقة
Yes.
طبعاً بعدين.
So far so good. They're happy. Everything is going well. Their son, he's getting his medical treatment, and the kids, they go to school, and he's planning to learn how to drive and get his driving license. At the beginning, the plan was to help them translating if they need me for translation. Not only me, and there's other volunteers. We do shopping, like we help them to go and do their shopping, grocery shopping once a week. And for their doctor appointments, if they need help with the doctor appointments, we help also. But again, with the sponsors, like helping the sponsors who brought them. And if they need anything and they will give us a call, we will be here.
Canada, very nice.
When I feel that anyone needs help, I feel happy for helping them.
Being a Muslim in Canada, being a Canadian Armed Forces, a Canadian Armed Forces member, I don't take it for granted. I consider myself very privileged to be a Canadian, to wear a Canadian uniform. I get the privilege of wearing the Canadian flag every day on my uniform. So I take it as a privilege, and I do not take it for granted. No pressure or pain or anything like that.
Not when you do that.
Not when I do that. Okay. I'm a visible minority, and I myself personally have not come across any sort of discrimination. If anything, I found being a Canadian and being a Canadian military member, a Canadian military officer, it has opened up many doors for me. I found across the military, wherever I've been, Petawawa, Ottawa, Borden, there's always a space for me to be able to practice my faith. The military has been more than welcomed in terms of allowing us an interfaith room, a prayer service, ablution area, etc., to be able to practice. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. We're very privileged to have Captain Suleiman Demere, Imam Demere, the very first Muslim chaplain ever in the Canadian Armed Forces. It's a huge blessing.
Yes, in 2003 I became very first non-Christian and Muslim chaplain also, first Muslim chaplain in modern Canadian Armed Forces. There are lots of aspects of being a unique chaplain and multi-faith chaplain.
I feel absolute hatred for terrorist organizations who claim to be of Islamic faith. I think they're completely misconstruing the purpose of the faith. They're misreporting what has been said, or what they're taking everything out of context, and they're not delivering the message properly that was meant to have been delivered.
Users of the facilities in Aurelia, especially Tuttle Park.
As a reporter myself, when I look at the media's portrayal of Muslims or terrorists who are associated with the Islamic faith, I think that some parts of the world have focused on the negative image too much. In media as well, I feel there are people who are trying to create a balance, people who are trying to bring in the positives, and there are people who are only focusing on the negatives. So it's been a tough call for media, I would say. They're being fed something from the authorities that they have probably very little way of verifying, but it does lead to some conversation, and that's a good thing.
Different terrorist groups, they claim that we are the true Muslims, or we run the true faith, and we do this and we do that. We condemn any of that if it's not according to our book, which is the Qur'an, and taught to us by our beloved Prophet. Anything that is against those teachings is not Islamic.
Anyone that kills another human being, in my eyes, is, especially when he or she is claimed to be Muslim, is not Muslim. That's not what Islam is about. Muslims don't kill people. I think they're very bad people, and unfortunately you have good and bad in every religion, every culture, and I don't think that they are Muslim.
Whenever Muslims are either victims of terrorist attacks or unfortunately have carried out terrorist attacks, it is a difficult question to ignore. It's in the news every day. There's always news stories about something bad happening. We're eating dinner, TV's on in the background, and my kids are watching what's happening in the world every day. At the end of the day, we just tell our kids, look, there's some very bad people out there, that some of them are Muslims, some of them are non-Muslims, and that's just the reality that we live in.
Even today, there was like these kids who were making fun of, like, they were saying like Muslims are terrorists and stuff, and my friend stood up for me and she said that there's a Muslim in her class and that it's not right to make fun of that. I like that she stood up for me.
It's pretty upsetting that people just put us Muslims out there that, oh, we're bad and terrorists and everything.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm hurt by what's going on because I think that us Muslims are very peaceful as a religion and all the stereotypes that are put on us aren't true. People can't judge you based on your outside or what religion you are, just, based on who you are on the inside.
Most Muslims I know are awesome people and they're just getting blamed for stuff that they didn't do. And we just need to educate people more on how Islam isn't a bad religion, it's just people make bad choices.
Because of my background and my long-term association with the Muslim faith, I have been able to aid the Mariposas for Refugees group over here, who have helped bring in a refugee family. I have helped them understand some of the needs of a Muslim family coming in, some of the things that the culture demands, some of the things that the faith demands, and they've been very receptive to it. Talk to people who are Muslims who are living next door to you. Talk to them, try to understand their perspective, try to understand where they're coming from, give them warmth and kindness, and they will definitely give you that in return, because that is one of the basic things that Islam teaches us, to be nice and kind and accepting of other people.
Now I feel lonely. Before I wasn't married and all that, I wasn't that much. I was just working and busy. Now I still work and all that, but every time I go around and all that, I just make me remember her and all that. What I heard on the news and all that, every time, it makes me feel bad and make me feel sad and all that. But I hope everything will be okay.
Ideally, I would like to have a Muslim man in my life. I do realize that I've limited my possibilities. I want what anybody else would want in terms of a companion, a friend, someone that you can grow old with and make a life with.
My hopes for my family are that we continue to be productive members of this Canadian society. We're very lucky to be Canadians. Certainly many opportunities were available to my family and I was able to maximize those opportunities. And so I hope my kids are able to make most of those opportunities by going to university, by working, and being productive members of society. Whatever profession they choose, we'll be proud of them, as long as it's something that they are able to contribute positively within Canada.
It's a big day for me. It's one of the first days that I've actually worn hijab in public. You just need that little bit of support sometimes to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. And I have my friend today with me, so it certainly helps a lot to do that. And so I feel quite happy wearing it, actually.
And she looks beautiful. It's a beautiful fashion statement. You look gorgeous in it.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah. We are no different than anyone else. We're the same sort of families and your neighbors and co-workers. We live a very normal life. We're Canadians. We love Canada. I mean, I've lived here all my life, so I feel like this is sort of ridiculous that I even have to answer this, but I'm Canadian. I know my values. We are kind. We are charitable. We obey Allah's laws as they are in our religion of Islam. And I would encourage everyone to pick up the Qur'an or go to a mosque and observe us, or go talk to an imam, or go talk to some of the ladies if you have any questions, and just really observe. Just sort of stand back and see what we're like, and then make the judgment call. Don't judge us on because of the piece of cloth that we wear, or what you see on TV, or what you've read in the paper. Really get to know us. Talk to us. We're great people.